kind of brought on. So let me just delete this for instance, and kind of layered on top of each other. Right, so for here, we can see how we've taken two different illustrates. So if I go to right click, open and illustrate, and you can see how we created this in particular. Do have the the width already in place, right? And then once we go ahead and place that onto the dashboard, then we can take this other piece, the black border background, right, and have it kind of stack on top of each other. So the stacking is what gives us that dynamic look. If you were to kind of move this down or move it around, you can see how you can adjust this. And if we wanted to, we could also duplicate it, right? Simply copy and then paste, and then you would be able to get a second set of that, multicolor, I guess, border with our black or multicolor background with our black border in place. Now, the next question, right, or the next tip that we want to go through is how am I going to get this chart to lay on this, right, and have the background come through? Well, one way that we can do that, of course, go into here. We had, I think it was, the direct written premium. Put it into place. So now this has already been adjusted for us, so that's nice. Let me show you. Let me pull something else that isn't as pretty, for instance. Okay, yeah. And so what we can see, right, is right now we have a white background. We have different, colors and different iterations, right? We have a title. We have different things that are kind of in the way, if you will. We really will want to kind of clean this up and see if we can make it, look a little bit prettier. What I would typically or traditionally do is kind of get our border or our, first layer kind of in place. Of course, it is principle in design. You do want to get these, as even as possible. Right now, I've kind of undone a lot of it, and it's not quite as pretty as it was, but that's fine, right? We can always redo it and continue to move it around and get it into place. Typically you would want to have balance. So, right, the amount of space that's here is the same amount of space that's here, right? And then also having the same height. So having this come up to the same height up here, and then of course having this come down. So I would actually want to move some of this around a little bit. Anyways, it's just good principle and good practice to get into. So let me just grab this real quick. Now, right now, we actually have 3 layers that we're touching, right? So that's kind of important to think about it like that. So when you do have those layers getting stacked,